everyone, a very warm welcome to my sociology class where I'm doing the summary analysis of religion and society that comes under paper 1, that is fundamentals of sociology. So today's lesson, I'm going to explain to you all about the functions of religion covering this chapter, that is unit 4 of paper 1, that is religion and society. Now, this is the syllabus of UPSC as prescribed by the UPSC, which I'm going to do everything step by step. So, just going in for a recap, my previous lesson, I explained to you all about the characteristics of religion. Why is it difficult to have a universal definition of religion? Today, in today's lesson, I'm going to explain the functions of religion. I don't think I was planning to even explain to you all the dysfunctions, but I'm not sure whether I'll be able to complete in this lesson, but I'll carry over to the next lesson. Now, the functions of religion. Now, why I am doing a separate lesson for this one is because this question was asked in previous papers, the functions and the dysfunctions of religion. So that is the reason I'm covering it in 2 separate lessons. Now, when we talk about the functions of religion is one of the most important social institutions. So it definitely has functions and dysfunctions. This religion as a social institution is important both for the individual and the society because it binds the society together. So here, as a social institution, this is something. It has one of the most important functions. It fulfills the basic functions. But when we talk about from the sociological point of view, it includes both manifest and the latent functions also. Functionalist suggests that the religion is the most important requirement as it helps in maintaining the social order of the society. Albert Einstein, the famous German physicist, said that science without religion is lame, religion without science is blind. Now, what is the meaning of this one? As you all know, Albert Einstein was not a very religious person. What he meant by this is, many people say that he was an atheist also. He said that, what he meant by this quote is, he meant that the mystery the religion had, we all know that all religions has a certain mystery or enigma about it. He meant that the mystery that the religion had, this has to be applied even for the psychological quest. Science needs to have the same mystery because if you have this mystery and when you apply it for science, this is when it gives rise to creativity. In short, science showed the same approach, the same way. Science needs to be given the same approach, the same way when we approach religion is what Einstein meant, and this is what he meant when he meant that science without religion is lame and religion without science is blind. Like how I said, when we talk about the function of religion from the sociological perspective, it needs to be looked at more from the manifest and the latent. What do we mean by manifest? When we mean by, this was the thing given by Robert Merton. Manifest functions are those functions which the outcomes which you would have expected, which produces a beneficial effect. Latent functions are those outcomes which you wouldn't have thought is going to come out with. These latent functions are which you wouldn't have expected, but these functions just come out, but they're not recognized. But at the same time, these latent functions some latent functions can also act as dysfunctions which can cause disorder and conflict in the society. I'll give you a small example explaining the manifest and the latent functions. The manifest functions of a newspaper. Now, the manifest functions of a newspaper is where you enrich your knowledge. Not only that one, it's a source of information, advertising, etc. Now, the latent functions of a newspaper would be where a person would use it to wipe windows or to pack foods or like you can even use this newspaper to bind your cover, where you can even use it in your cupboard. So these are the latent functions. This is what. But sometimes the latent functions can also be become dysfunctions, which I'll explain to you when we are talking about religion. Now, the one of the most important functions of religion, social change. This so religion brings about social change. How does it bring religion social change? Religion sometimes promote social change by guiding the followers to go for a change. They're going to protest against what is wrong in the society in certain religion, and they want to have certain changes to take place in the society. Now, the perfect example what I would give is Buddhism opposed to the Brahmanical systems of way, where Brahmanism, the Brahmanism, they paid lot of emphasis to the caste system. They kept themselves in the higher hierarchy. They did not allow the people from the lower caste to enter temples. Buddhism, fought against this. And another perfect example would be Max Weber's Protestant ethic and the spirit of capitalism, where it was this ideology of the Protestantism which led to the development of this capitalist economy. Then another one is the Arab Spring. The Arab Spring, the anti-government protests that took place in North Africa and Middle East. Now this Arab Spring here, Islam played a very, very important role. When the government shut down the social medias where people used to protest against the government, what did they do? They took the protest took place on Friday, especially in mosques, because this was the perfect starting point of this was the perfect place for mass gatherings, where they used to they used it as a platform to fight against it. And the role of this political Islam is led to the success of Arab Spring, and not only that one, it also led to other protests in other places. So this is how religion plays a very important social change. This is a very subjective point where you can add in your own opinions. Say for example, you can even say the Sabarimala issue, then the Sani Saneshwar issue. All these you can talk about, which has led to social change. The next one is religion acts as an integrative force. We all know that religion is something that binds together. Durkheim said that religion unites all those who believe in it. You act as a collective force where people belong to a particular religion are bound together. There's a sort of collective unity or a social solidarity of a group where people belong to a particular religion come together, and it really binds, and it gives you a sense of security, a type of solidarity. This is one thing, when people come together, when people go to religious places like church, temple, mosque, it binds them. And not only that one, there's a sort of thing that it gives you a social solidarity. You have a sense of security. So this is the integrative force we're talking about. Social control. Now, what is social control? Now, social control is when our behavior, thoughts appear, all these things are regulated by norms, rules. And this is something, it's a very, very important component of social order. Social control, it tells you, this is something that your religion does not allow you to do. So what happens, you make sure that you are within your boundaries because you want to follow it. And not only that one, since nobody wants to go against your religion or God, so what happens is you are submissive. Friedrich Engels said religion could make the masses submissive. So that you don't want to, religion is something very personal, and nobody wants to retaliate against religion. And it also, Durkheim also said, it reinforces social control so that it keeps you in line through the ways, rituals, etc. Certain religions says that eating pork is a taboo. At the same time, eating beef might be fine with one religion and not fine with another religion. So this is something that keeps you under control. It's a social control. It provides the rites of passage. Now, every religion, every religion has certain, like what can I say, like you have every function for the different phases of your life passage. Like when you're born, you have that namkaran ceremony is there, and when the child eats the food, you have another ceremony. When he goes to school, the death ceremony, the upanaya ceremony. So now this religion provides like a passage for every, like you go through a certain phase of your life. It gives you certain meaning to it by having certain functions. It has a social significance. Now the purushatas, kama is one of the four purushatas. Now the purushatas, don't get confused with the word purushatas. The very word purush does not mean only man. Purush means not only man, it means human individual. Purush means man, but the whole human race. Artha means the meaning in life. You have the four purushatas: dharma, kama, artha, and moksha. Now these are the objectives of human beings. Like purush does not mean only male. This is the obligatory day duties or the rites of passage one has to do in when man goes through. Individual goes through many phases of life. This religion tells you what your duties you're supposed to do towards yourself, society, and for the matter even as towards your community. It acts as an intellectual means, like tells you about karma, reincarnation. Don't you? Bhagavad Gita, say for example, religious text, Bhagavad Gita tells you about moksha, about rebirth, what is karma, how can you get out of the questions like why you're here, what happens after death. Now this gives you a meaning. Like many people, whenever you have a doubt, everyone says read your religious text. I'm here when I'm saying religious text, I'm referring to all religions, the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, the Quran. It gives answers to your questions. It gives meaning to the spiritual world. And not only that, these things your religious text will be you get answers. Like we always see, even in satsangs and many, when you go for the spiritual hearing, they all give answers to the intellectual answers to the questions that are asked. It acts as a source of identity. To whatever religion, it gives you a self-identity. Not only that one, it gives a sense of confidence to whom you are. The prime function of religion is to give it the meaning. Now the Bangladeshi immigrants in India, after settling to the new environment, they are called as identified as Indian Muslims. So this religion gives a source of identity to you. The next one, legitimizing function. Max Weber said religion is used, rationalized. Now, religion sometimes is used to, it has been used to say that it is used as a power. The perfect example is the caste system. Brahmin said, yes, it has been mentioned in the Vedas. The Varna system is very important. The Brahmins are on the top order. They are supposed to perform this religious function, whereas the person who is in the low order, the Shudras, he is supposed to do all the menial work. So it legitimizes the religion by saying that this has been written in the religious books. So this one reinforces the social institution, at the same time creates a social equality, which we have seen what has happened in the Varna system. Now religion acts as a hope, it gives you meditation. So many times when you've lost hope, what do? You visit some temple or any religious place, you sit there, you meditate, it provides you peace of mind. When all the doors are closed, it is the religion or the places of religion or the books that gives you emotional support. Even at times of medical stress, it is this religion that gives you hope. The next is, it also supplements empirical knowledge. Religion also proves that, the Roman Catholic Church acknowledges miracle. The perfect example is Mother Teresa, where she has done miracles by touching people who are having serious diseases. It is the healing power of prayer. Even medicines, doctors say that nothing is in my hands, now it is all in the hands of God. So this is the end of my lesson. Next lesson, I'm going to explain to you all the dysfunctions of